The long wait is almost over. Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral was bathed in light on the eve of its historic reopening. The 860-year-old cathedral has been closed since a devastating fire 5.5 years ago. But today, after a massive restoration effort, its doors will open once again. Last week, 60 Minutes got an early look at the repaired interior. Arlene Cobb shows us the work done by dedicated artisans to bring the cathedral back from the brink.
There is great excitement in Paris as the beloved cathedral prepares to reopen. People here are impatient to see inside Notre Dame, to see for themselves the result of 5 years of painstaking restoration work carried out by an army of architects and artisans, some of whom we spoke with earlier this week. As the flames engulfed Notre Dame, many feared that even if it survived the fire, the skills needed to rebuild the cathedral were long lost. But it turned out there were still traditional craftsmen and women quietly at work around France, and soon an army of artisans was drafted in to restore the historic monument. That's quite a privilege.
It is a privilege. It's very much a privilege.
Camille Schmoker is a decorative painter who described her job as applying makeup touch-ups over the stonemason's work.
Every day my coworkers and I were pinching ourselves like we are here, and it's gratifying to know that I've helped create something better than what it was, and it will outlast my lifetime.
So if we're looking at it now, can we see where you worked?
The idea in my job is that you don't actually see what I did. So if you don't see what I do, then it's mission accomplished.
Chief architect Philippe Villeneuve says the restoration shone a new light on traditional ways of working in construction and restoration. What is great about Notre Dame is it's like a school, he says, where we pass skills from generation to generation. Traditional carpenter Hank Silver worked on the timber roof of the cathedral.
It's maybe a bit of a controversial point to say, but in many ways this fire has been a great gift, not just to me personally, but young people who really otherwise would never know that they could have a career as a traditional carpenter, stone cutter, mason. These trades are in the public eye again.
And what would you say to these young people who say, I want to be a carpenter and I like how you work?
I mean, I think there's nothing better you can do with your life.
Here at this workshop of the Compagnons du Devoir, young apprentices from around France are learning traditional methods of stonemasonry, carpentry and roofing. Apprentice stonemason Hugo Larivon says he feels a duty to protect France's architectural heritage, and that's why he's learning traditional methods here.
I have the contact with the stone. I can identify as my ancestors by working like them.
Margot Lawson says she wants to work on historical monuments.
I think it's inspiring because Notre Dame is the most beautiful monument in France and the most famous, I think.
Apprentice roofer Maël Testa was lucky enough to work on the cathedral. It was very emotional, he said. I never thought I would get to do something like that. For the artisans who have now finished, the reopening is a bittersweet moment.
I feel like it's, in a way, my little baby, and now it's all grown up, and now it's going to be everyone's to visit.
And demand for access has been huge, as you can imagine. The damage caused by the fire has been repaired, but there is still more work to be done so the medieval cathedral can continue to dominate the Paris skyline for centuries to come. For CBS Saturday Morning, Elaine Cobb, Paris.
We've done so many stories on technology and how that's, they've been able to do these great artistic things. What a wonderful good to come from something so horrible, that these younger people can learn these skills and that they can get passed on again and again and again.
And the worldwide cooperation from countries just pouring in what they can contribute is just amazing as well. And the billion doesn't hurt. $1 billion.
Not at all.